Hi and very warm welcome at Amir Shackle 5858. I am Amir Shackle. Following news headlines have been reported by world major English news channels and news agencies. So please watch it.
Breaking news tonight, the search for survivors after a small plane crash in Pennsylvania. Look at these intense flames there in Lancaster after the plane with 5 people on board went down in a parking lot. On the ground, this fire burning out of control, engulfing cars nearby. The latest on the response. The race to contain brush fires in New York State. Hundreds of acres burned, huge smoke clouds. The biggest fire still going, another being investigated as arson. And the risk also in the plains tonight, where some 9 million people are now under fire alerts. The Secret Service opening fire near the White House, shooting a man who traveled here from Indiana. And in Ohio, Vice President Vance confronted by protesters near his home. The urgent search for a college student missing during spring break in the Dominican Republic. A Palestinian activist who helped organize protests at Columbia University now arrested by ICE, according to his lawyer, as the school loses millions in government funding. Terrifying moments in California. Watch. Several people hurt as a customer plows into this dealership. A driving nightmare, a plank of wood flying out of nowhere, suddenly smashing right there into the windshield of that car. 60 years since the Selma to Montgomery marches, the major milestone for the civil rights movement.
This is NBC Nightly News with Hallie Jackson.
Get a mission. It seems impossible, I know, but get a mission. Ultimately, you're going to need your own candidate. In the meantime, well, you tell him, Joe.
You might not like the way he commands, okay? But let's give him a chance to see if it's successful. Try to make it successful. And when you disagree, do it respectfully. And say, Mr. President, I think I know where you're coming for. Could I give you some input?
How about that? Work with President Trump. Joining us now to talk about that and where the Democratic Party is right now, Senator John Kennedy of Louisiana. Senator, great to see you. Your thoughts about your opposing party?
My Democratic friends, Brian, seem determined to find out what it's like to be a Jets fan and lose everything. I mean, take the president's speech this week. Any fair-minded person who watched it would have to conclude that he won the evening. He basically used the Democrats as a chew toy. Their opposition was twofold. It consisted of their little paddles that they held up. I thought Stephen Colbert said it pretty well. He said, I couldn't tell whether they were protesting or bidding on an antique tea set at an auction. Congressman Green's behavior was intriguing. Look, I don't hate the congressman. I don't hate anybody, but his behavior was butthead-like. I mean, it was very unbecoming. But it's more than that. The Democrats are mad at President Trump and Mr. Musk for scrubbing the budget. And Americans scratch their head and go, what's wrong with asking how they're spending our money? The Democrats are mad at people who have found wasted taxpayer money, but they're not mad at the people who are wasting it and have wasted it. And the position of the Democrats, it seems to me, they decided to support the wasteful spending and the bureaucracy over the taxpayer. And I think that's why my Democratic friends are losing.
I mean, so they're almost making it too easy for Donald Trump and your party by taking...
On this Sunday night, the Liberal Party elects a new leader. Mark Carney takes the reins and is set to be the next prime minister.
I will work day and night with one purpose, which is to build a stronger Canada.
How Liberals are pinning their hopes on him as the era of Justin Trudeau ends.
I am damn proud of what we've done over these past 10 years.
A new blow in U.S.-Ukraine relations. The concessions the U.S. president is demanding beyond rare earth minerals ahead of peace talks in Saudi Arabia. And the Pope misses another Sunday blessing. The Canadian cardinal who stepped in and presided over Mass in St. Peter's Square.
Global National with Donna Friesen.
Good evening and
hello and a very warm welcome. If you're just joining us, you're watching Daybreak here on France 24. These are our headlines this hour. A former central banker and Goldman Sachs executive, Mark Carney, will be Canada's next Prime Minister. The 59-year-old said he would be defending the country's interests in the face of Donald Trump's tariffs, and that retaliatory taxes would be in place until the US respected its northern neighbour. High-level talks between Ukraine and the US to take place in Saudi Arabia. This as Russia claims to have taken control of areas of Ukraine near the border with Kursk. And over 1,000 people killed in the past 4 days. A war monitor in Syria says the attacks have mostly been against civilians that are Alawite, which is the same religion as Bashar al-Assad. Glad you could join us. Also coming up in this edition, a growing number of books are being banned in the United States. A surge in censorship seen there since 2021. Over 15,000 tomes have been outlawed in over 40 states and hundreds of schools since then. We'll be hearing from a senior program manager from PEN America to find out more.
Is Asia Now.
It's 3 p.m. in Singapore and Hong Kong, 12:30 in Delhi, 2 o'clock in Jakarta. I'm Genevieve Wu. At this hour, floods devastate parts of Australia. More than 200,000 homes and businesses without power as remnants of Cyclone Alfred batter Queensland and New South Wales. Authorities warn of more intense rainfall. China's top political advisory body concludes its annual meeting, pledging to drive modernization, deepen reforms, high-quality development, and stronger national unity. And North Korea fires multiple ballistic missiles just hours after condemning military drills between the U.S. and South Korea as a dangerous, provocative act.
A very good morning to you. It's 7 o'clock on today's show. The former Bank of England governor, Mark Carney, is named Canada's new Prime Minister and immediately takes a shot at Donald Trump.
Plus, how Downing Street is helping Ukraine to prepare for peace talks as diplomats prepare to meet in Saudi Arabia. And an inspiring legacy, how the mother of a teenage photographer who died from cancer has raised thousands of pounds from her work to fund research.
It's Monday, the 10th of March. Your headlines. In trade, as in hockey, Canada will win. Canada's new Prime Minister talks tough on Trump and vows to win a trade war with the United States. Israel turns off electricity to Gaza, prompting allegations from Hamas that it's pursuing a starvation policy. The government's plan to freeze out NIMBYs and make building easier. We'll speak to the planning minister in the next few minutes. Plus,
This is music for dust.
the King's Commonwealth Day playlist. He reveals he's a big Kylie fan, amongst others. A very good morning to you. The man who saw the...
Good morning. Donald Trump claims Ukraine may not survive the war. Ukraine may not survive?
Well, it may not survive anyway, but, we have some weaknesses with Russia. It takes two.
Here comes as the White House puts pressures on President Zelensky to give up territory seized by Russia.
All of this as the Ukrainian leader Volodymyr Zelensky heads to Saudi Arabia to begin peace talks with US negotiators.
Record numbers of small boat crossings in the Channel this last week sees the highest number of arrivals since the crisis began in 2016.
It comes as calls grow on the whereabouts of a small boat migrant who called for the death of all Jews. The Home Office can't confirm whether he's been arrested.
Former Bank of England Governor Mark Carney wins the race to replace Justin Trudeau as Canadian Prime Minister, as both leaders take a swipe at President Trump and increasing tensions.
And make no mistake, this is a nation-defining moment.
And Canada never, ever will be part of America in any way, shape, or form.
Particular favourites. It is Upside Down by Diana Ross.
The King takes the airwaves as he releases a podcast today celebrating music from across the Commonwealth to mark Commonwealth Day, as he pledges to restore the disrupted harmony of our entire planet.
And as reality TV star Spencer Matthews says that he won't be leaving his fortune to his kids, we're asking, should you be expected to give your inheritance?
And in sport this morning, Declan Rice may have shushed Manchester United fans with his goal, but it's more of a case really of Liverpool shushing him. As Arsenal fall further behind Liverpool now in the title race, which, let's face it, is now effectively...
Some Ipswich residents told to prepare to leave with the Bremer River expected to break its banks overnight. And the federal government offers emergency assistance payments for people affected by Cyclone Alfred and associated floods.
It provides up to 13 weeks of income support at the job seeker level.
Counter-terror police investigating an explosive-laden caravan in Sydney uncover an extraordinary twist with possible links to organised crime. Syria's interim leader scrambles to contain the deadliest violence in years, which has left more than 1,000 people dead. And Canada's next Prime Minister, Mark Carney, ready to stand up to the US when he takes over from Justin Trudeau. Hello and welcome to ABC News. I'm Joe O'Brien.
The news.
There is international concern over the growing tension in South Sudan as cracks emerge in the country's ruling coalition. Recent clashes in the northeastern Upper Nile state between forces allied to the president and first vice president are threatening a fragile power-sharing agreement and the transition to democracy.
It is another holy month of Ramadan dedicated to fasting, prayer and reflection cherished by families around the world. As Muslims everywhere engage in this period, in Nigeria the occasion is celebrated with gatherings of families and friends who come together to share meals and strengthen their bonds. Mujahid Abdurrahman, the Imam of Anur Mosque in Abuja, emphasizes the importance of families uniting during fasting.
That to show them compassionate, to show them love, to show them that yes, there is a kind of concern to the humanity. For example, feeding, assisting, supporting, doing medical outreaches, and there is medical support. So this will bring people together and also to maintain brotherhood.
According to an Islamic cleric, the Ramadan month is a period of personal reflection and devotion to the Almighty. Michael Divier, African News, Abuja, Nigeria.
Internationally acclaimed South African playwright, director and actor Athol Fugard died at his home on Sunday after a long illness. He was 92. The anti-apartheid figure leaves behind a powerful legacy of works like Master Harold and the Boys and The Island that have shaped theatre in the country. In this 1997 interview, he speaks about his most personal play, The Captain's Tiger.
You know, during the 40 years of apartheid, I was a very blinkered writer. I had one focus, which was to try and say as much as I could about that terrible system and what it was doing to people. Now, of course, that is past history. And
more misery for Palestinians in Gaza as prices soar following Israel's decision to cut off food and other supplies to the enclave. Aid workers say it's endangering progress made during the 6-week ceasefire to prevent widespread famine. In Khan Yunis, people have been struggling to get bread and basic supplies. Last time we received aid, it was just a bag of flour, and that's not enough. For those that have children, it's just not enough to feed them. We need more than that. The situation is very difficult. No one is working, there's no money, there's nothing. On Sunday, Israel cut off Gaza's electricity supply as it presses Hamas to accept an extension of the first phase of the ceasefire that ended a week ago. The militant group has described the move as unacceptable blackmail. It hasn't been 2 months since the situation started to ease. Since the ceasefire began, it's improved a little, but just months ago.
Panama has released dozens of migrants who were held in a remote camp for weeks after being deported from the United States under the condition that they will leave the country within 30 days. The release follows weeks of lawsuits and human rights criticism. The migrants, mostly from Asian countries, were part of a deal between Trump's administration, Panama and Costa Rica to accelerate U.S. deportations.
Right now, I don't have any information about where I should wait or sleep because all of us suddenly come here, no money, no information, so it's really bad situation.
Hundreds, including families with children, were sent to the 2 Central American nations as a stopover while
Thank you very much for giving time to Amir Shekel 5858. I am Amir Shekel. Have a good life. Bye-bye.